Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. Thank you so much for tuning in. So we have to talk about Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum. Is it time to split up this duo? Because maybe they're not as dynamic as we hoped they would be. Also, we're talking about the Heat and how Jimmy Butler spoke out after they lost. And I want to ask Jackie if she thinks Giannis actually stands a chance at winning a ring this season. But before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to our channel, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment below. Here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward.
Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on all things social media at JRayTheFanatic. And it is Fan or Foe Friday.
Woo-hoo-hoo. So, at the end of the show, we are addressing everything that you guys have been saying to us. Well, not everything, but a lot of the things that you guys have been saying to us throughout the week. So get ready for that. That is coming up in the last 10 to 15 minutes of our show today. And before that, we're going to be filling you in on everything that's been going on in the sports world since yesterday. Jackie, before we dive into the news, tell me what you have planned for this coming long weekend. And as a reminder, for those of you who are tuning in, we are not going live on Monday. We're taking a much-needed day off for Memorial Day weekend, so we will not be here live at 9 a.m. on Monday morning. But we do have content coming for you throughout the 3-day weekend. So, Jackie, what are your plans?
Relaxing. That's it. I low-key forgot until this morning that we had this 3-day weekend because I was like, all right, let me plan my weekend. So then that way I can get ahead of the work. I'm like, oh, damn, I could do that on Monday. That's cool. So I'm going to just be relaxing. I'm finally settled into my place. I'm just going to enjoy some downtime. And I'm going to check out this vegan spot that you told me about, this vegan breakfast place. Check that out.
Yes. It's so good. Make sure you ask for extra vegan Chipotle sauce. It's like this creamy Chipotle aioli, and it is delicious. And I'm jealous that you're going to be getting one this weekend. So please send me a picture. I'm begging you because it's all I'm thinking about. But there's no way I'm going to have time to go down over there today or this weekend. So I am jealous, but you're going to love it. I know it. But yeah, this weekend for me actually is turning out to be extremely busy. I was not expecting that. I really do need to take some time off, but I have so much going on and I can't say no to things. It's my biggest problem, so I have to go. I've already overextended myself and committed myself way too much. Okay. Let's actually get into the news now. I want to talk about Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum. So Portland lost to Denver again. The final score was 120-115. And the conversation after this loss was that Dame needs to be done with Portland, or Portland needs to make some changes with their lineup to give him some better support, because he put up, what was it? I think he had a great night. I had the number written down, but I don't remember what it was. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I think, becoming time. I know that we've talked about how Dame is so loyal to Portland, and he has said that he never wants to leave and all of that. And I admire that loyalty. I think that that's commendable, but it's also hurting his chances to win a ring and to, have that pivotal, that most exciting moment in your NBA career that every NBA athlete aspires to. So people are thinking that it's time to break up Dame and CJ McCollum because he does so much and doesn't really seem to be getting the support that he needs. And I feel like it's just a waste of his career to continue playing like this and doing so well so consistently without any opportunities to really win. There were a lot of tweets that came out about this. So Leo, let's throw that first tweet up there. This one says, Dame Lillard averaging 37 points against the Nuggets, and he's getting his ass whooped by Austin Rivers. Blow the Blazers up. It's over. Another tweet that says, if the Blazers lose first round, they got to split up CJ and Dame. Just an uninspiring team in perpetuity. Another tweet that says, Dame and CJ have been a duo for a year or two too long. And then there's one more tweet that says, if the Blazers can get a super reliable star big man, sure. Otherwise, CJ isn't the problem. He doesn't play defense, but who does in the Blazers? Issue with Blazers have not been having a reliable big man, not CJ or Stotts. So it seems like a lot of Trailblazers fans are just kind of getting tired of seeing how they're just continuing to flounder. They're just not achieving what the fans want them to achieve. So Jackie, do you think it's time that Portland does blow it all up?
I mean, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. So while I actually personally love the CJ and Dame dynamic, because I don't know, people really do have short-term memory. When Dame came back from an injury and he was kind of slowly ramping up to his normal self, it was CJ that held him down, and that was basically, he stepped up in a big way. And yeah, Dame had 37 points last night, a fantastic night. CJ had 22. So when you have 37 and 22, you really, somebody should be, you really just don't expect them to lose. And I obviously didn't watch that game because it was on the same time as the Lakers, but I did go back and forth at times. And the last time I watched it was all tied up. So in my head, I was like, oh, okay, they're going to come back and they're going to win it, because they were down the first time I looked at it. So it did seem like they were on this run. I can't give you an educated reason as to why they didn't overcome last night, because I didn't watch that full game and I just watched highlights, and y'all know I hate when people comment on stuff over the highlights. So I don't know exactly what happened, but regardless of the fact that I personally like the Dame and CJ matchup, the fact of the matter is it hasn't resulted in anything. I say the same thing about the Clippers all the time. You have all this talent, and individually, I think that the Clippers are a very talented organization, but what has it amounted to? It's been quite embarrassing, frankly. So either way, again, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. And Dame, this narrative of him staying there with this team and with CJ, it's been this narrative for a long time. Is it going to work? Will it work? Can he get a ring? And every year, people who don't even like Portland, they cheer for him. You know what I mean? They cheer for him specifically as a person, because he gives us some of the best highlights in the league, and you want him as a person to be successful. People that don't even like the team want him to be successful, but at the end of the day, it's not working. So I do agree with that last user. You get a solid big man in there, then maybe, but even if you get a good solid big man in there, that atmosphere is still the same. So how is that one person? This would have to be a super dynamic big man who is a star in his own right that can totally change the atmosphere there. And that's a really big ask. So I don't know. I as much as I hate to say it, because I don't think Dame wants it. I think he's happy where he is. He's a family man. His family is there. Deep in my heart, I don't think he wants to uproot his family. But now you just got to pick. I mean, or you can do the Chris Paul thing, leave your family there while you go somewhere else. Or you got to pick. We're either leaving and giving me the best chance to get a ring, or I'm content and not getting a ring and just constantly beating my head against this wall. It's an either or situation for me.
I wonder if the Trailblazers are a first-round exit in the playoffs this year, if Dame would actually consider retiring, or not retiring, but giving up his Trailblazers jersey and moving to a different team. I think that, I know loyalty means a lot to him, and he has been so vocal about wanting to stay there. I just wonder if this will kind of be the straw that broke the camel's back. Could you see that happening, or do you think that he would truly be content doing the same thing over and over and over again, year after year after year?
Well, he said something in a post-game interview that really kind of made me feel like he's never going to leave, because he said, you don't know if the grass is going to be greener on the other side. You just got to build up your team the best you can. And that is not a mindset that most people have in the league. That's not what they have. Most people have, okay, I tried it. I gave it my best shot here. It didn't work. I want a ring. I'm ready to go. That's the general overall mindset. So him saying that kind of made me feel just exactly what I said. He's happy where he is. And I'm not talking about just that team. I'm talking about that whole lifestyle that he has there. He's happy with that city. He's happy with his family being there. He's happy with how that culture has embraced him. And maybe that, we always say it's bigger than basketball. So maybe all of the things that he's getting that makes him feel as like a complete human outweigh a ring. On the outside looking in, I think you can have it both ways. I think you can leave your foundation there and retire there if you want to. Come back for one game and retire your jersey there if you want to. But when you're a little kid, you don't dream about getting into the NBA just to stay with the team and then fade off into oblivion because you never won anything. That's not the dream. The dream is to win the ring. And I think he needs to give himself the best chance to do that. Because I hate seeing all these highlights and this fantastic talent go to waste. I mean, just at least one ring. You deserve it. You've worked hard for it. So But I have to say, in that interview, I definitely got the idea, even again, body language, how he said it. He's content. And that kind of contentment makes you settle sometimes. And I think he might settle and stay in Portland.
Well, to me, that seems like the obvious choice as to what he should not do. But, like, I guess if he's content with that, it's his career, it's his legacy. I think Dame will still be remembered as a super solid player, a tremendous athlete. But it just would be so unfortunate to know that all of this hard work that he puts in, all of these big nights that he has, averaging 37 points a game would kind of be for nothing. So it is a little bit upsetting for him. Somebody in the chat said splitting Dame and CJ would be like splitting Curry and Clay. Why the hell would they do that? I disagree, because Steph Curry and Klay Thompson have won together before. I think that kind of ties them together in a lot stronger way than Dame and CJ. What do you think about that statement, Jackie?
I mean, I get what he's saying. From just what I said before, they are very good at when one is down, the other one steps up. It's usually Dame does have off nights, he'll catch on fire almost 99.9% of the time. Even if he does have an off night, he's going to catch on fire in the fourth quarter or late in the game for sure. So I get what he's saying, because you just don't want it to be a situation where you're breaking up two guys that genuinely look like they like playing together. They really like playing together. I do think they build up each other, but I think we're only talking about it. They would be like Steph and Clay if last night Dame got 37 and then CJ got 38 or 30. Like, you still got to match that energy, and Clay and Steph match each other's energy a little bit better than what CJ and Dame do. Because I'm literally talking about a guy that will they'll build each other up when they're down. Steph and Clay can be on at the same time and then just murder you. So, it is a little bit different, but I understand the idea of these are two guys that really like each other and enjoy playing together. And I think that's what you see in Steph. They really like each other and enjoy playing together, and they're friends. So in that aspect, it's the same. But when you're talking about their level of play, I don't think it's the same.
Yeah, Doug in the chat says Dame and CJ do a lot of the same, including defensive play. Steph and Clay do a lot different. They complement each other much better. And then there was another person in the chat that said Dame and CJ are just never firing at the same time. And I think that goes to exactly what you were saying. Like, Steph and Clay fire at the same time. They're both having a good night. With Dame and CJ, it's like one's having a good night and one's having an off night. So I think they just don't have that same sort of I don't know what it really is, like energetic connection or something in the same way that Steph and Clay do.
Let's move about them having different kind of games, because that's absolutely right. CJ and Dame do have similar games. Our producer, when we were talking about Clay coming back from this injury and what he's going to look like, Devin and I was like, oh, he's probably going to look a lot different. And then after the show, our producer was like, no, he's not. He doesn't really move around a lot. He's just going to catch and shoot like he always does. But that's the difference, right? Clay really kind of knows his role. He knows where he's going to be. He knows where he can get his shot off and it's going to land for him. And he goes there and he rocks it. Steph is like the Tasmanian devil. He's just, all around. It's a different kind of game. So it does complement each other. So I think that comment in the chat is spot on. They play different games, whereas CJ and Dame do play the similar game. And it's just, am I off? Okay, then I'll do good. It's like a seesaw instead of just firing at the same time. I think that's a good point.
Yeah, that was a good point. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the Heat, because, wow, they're not looking good. So Jimmy Butler actually spoke out. I know, it's very sad to go from being in the finals to this. The final score of the game yesterday was 113 to 84. 84.
Oh, embarrassing.
It hurts. I know, it's painful to even think about that. And Jimmy actually spoke out about this, because this was a blowout loss. This was outrageous. And he was pretty honest with his response. He said, quote, "I'm not surprised. It's basketball. It's part of it. Keep our heads up. Keep working. Try to get this one on Saturday." I think that's a good attitude to have. You don't want to be too defeated. But why is this happening in the first place? I mean, this is wild to go from where they were last season to here, 113 to 84. I mean, he's obviously disappointed disappointed in the way the Heat is looking right now. I don't blame him at all, especially because he actually had a pretty solid game last night. He logged a team high 19 points on 7 of 17 shooting, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, 2 3-pointers. So Jimmy did have a good night, but it was, I guess, not enough to go up against Giannis and the Bucks, which makes me wonder, is it Giannis's year? Is this his time to actually win a ring with the Bucks? What do you think, Jackie?
No, you definitely can't. I'm not saying that he's definitely not going to win a ring, but I am going to say you cannot make that assumption from watching him play against these Heat. Something's wrong with the Heat. I don't know what's going on, but the Heat that we saw last season in the bubble is not in they're not a team right now. And I think you brought up a good point. The last time we talked about this, Jimmy was 100% dialed in. He was I think he was the only player that didn't invite anyone into the bubble with him. And it was just him, and he stayed focused. All that intensity, all that focus, all that dialed in energy is not there. So, okay, I get it. Yes, the Bucks out here doing their thing and they blowing out Miami Heat, but that's Miami Heat. They got a long way to go. And I don't see this being his year. I'm not going to be mad if it is, because y'all know I love me some Giannis, but I just don't want everybody to get their hopes all up because of what we're seeing the Bucks do against the Heat. It's the Heat. There's a period at the end of that sentence. It's the Heat.
So going back to what you did say, because that was my theory about why the Heat is looking a little bit different, is because they don't have that confined environment of just of basketball only. They're back in the real world. Life is going back to normal. Is that really what you think is the biggest problem here? Or watching the game last night, did you notice some other areas where they're just not leveling up enough?
I just don't see the same Heat that I saw last year. I can't pinpoint what that is, but the way that everyone's kind of dialed in, and not only dialed in, but ready to prove everyone wrong. That's kind of the energy that the Heat had last season. Like, okay, you're going to doubt us? Watch this. We're going to go out here and do our thing. This year, it's almost, I don't want to say defeatist, because I don't want to make an assumption that they in their head have already assumed that this is over. But like I said yesterday, this is one of those moments in time that if y'all can't get it together and at least pull together one win, then the narrative is going to go right back to what Sham said, is Jimmy Butler. And I don't think this is true. I do think that Jimmy Butler is in there and saying to some guys, what the hell are you doing? This is what you were supposed to do, blah, 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 blah. And perhaps there's those guys in there that can't take that. But I don't think Jimmy is saying or doing anything that isn't basketball related, that he's not trying to push his team. And sometimes when you get this low, pushing a guy feels like you're kicking a guy. So it could be something like that. But whatever we're seeing in Miami right now is not working. You guys should watch all of our content that we have on the weekend, because I have a theory as to what can make the Heat win it all next season. I'm not going to tell you what it is, though. Y'all got to just watch it.
Yes. Tease them, Jackie. Got to check out our video coming out this weekend, because like I said, we do have a bunch of content coming throughout the 3-day weekend to make up for the fact that we are not going to go live on Monday morning. Really quickly, I want to do a quick shout out to Kevin L. Lang. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Kevin. Thank you.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. I figured Kevin Lang would like that version. I feel like that's a Kevin Lang version. Happy birthday.
I think for sure Kevin Lang version. I realized doing that. Have you seen those TikTok trends, Jackie, where they make fun of white girls dancing?
Oh, yes.
I do that dance. That's what I just realized. I do the white girl dance. You know what? I guess
you're a white girl. I mean, it's fine.
So embarrassing.
So
I need
really
to
like,
That's
kill it.
Me. Oh God, I'm embarrassed about myself. Okay, woo. That's what I'll be doing all weekend. And actually, let's wrap up Need to Know News. I am so excited to get into the post up. So, Jackie, what is happening?
Yes, I'm excited to get into the post up too, just because like I said, I forgot today was Friday and we got this long weekend. I'm excited. And I told you guys before, I was a little bit concerned about the chemistry for my Lakers. But I am no longer concerned about that, because one thing that we saw last year when they were in the bubble is they were out there having fun. They were playing as a team. They were having a good time. And Andre Drummond is out here doing the damn thing and copying LeBron James, because, imitation is the best form of flattery. But I think there's something else going on here, and I'm going to show you this first one, and then we'll get more into it. So take a look at this first one, because I love this. Did y'all see Andre mimicking the whole time, like doing move for move what LeBron was doing? I love that. Can we just watch that one more time? Because I just want y'all to see. Make sure you watch Andre. I'm pointing at the screen like y'all can see. In the back. Watch him. And he's so hyped. He's so hyped. And that is not an Andre that I personally am used to, which is what this, I agree with this user as well, because I've never seen him this happy, ever, ever. So that makes me happy when I see somebody that's happy and having a good time and having fun, because as seriously as we take it, especially people like me, who's like an over the top fan, it is just a game. And I love to see these guys having fun and acting like they're doing something that they love and enjoy to do. But his mimicking LeBron did not stop there. He was doing it all night. Take a look at this one. Same thing y'all see. You see the lean back, the lean back, the lean back. So I think that as much as I think he's out there having fun too, I think he's legit learning from LeBron, because I saw this when it was happening, because at this point they were talking about, LeBron goes high, you go low, whatever. And I just thought about Michelle Obama. That's why I remember this whole moment in time. But thank you to whoever got this close up of Andre's face, because now look at his face. Like, he's legit watching him and mimicking him. And I think that that's what you do. I think that when you see aspects, because I know some of y'all are going to hate, but when you see when you have a LeBron James at your disposal and you can work that closely with him, why not learn from him? Why not get better? And I think that this is more than just mimicking. I think he's literally understanding, okay, this is one of the best players in basketball. Let me learn from this man, because he's the only one doing it. Either way, I love that he's having fun. And I love that he's really, because that was one of the things I struggled with Andre, is like, I didn't know who we should play, Andre or Gasol, because Gasol wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. Andre was letting me down. Andre, still, you do crowd the lane though. When AD is coming, you do need to get out the way. But aside from that, I think he's really kind of come into his own. Devin, what do you think? Do you think this is just pure, I'm imitating him because I'm having fun, or do you think that he's really out here learning from LeBron?
Well, I think it's obvious that he's learning from LeBron, but I think anybody who's playing with LeBron is going to learn from him. You know what I mean? I think that when you're around somebody like that, with the experience that he has and the reputation that he has, you're going to take something away from that. But also, I notice I have one really good friend who, whenever I'm with her, she always has some sort of new phrase or slang term or like little word or thing that she does that we all end up taking for ourselves. So when you spend enough time with a person who does something really differently or in kind of a standout way, you always end up taking that away. So I think it's kind of a combination of things.
I think so too. Like, my best friend is way more calm than me. I am not the calm one in my crew, if y'all didn't know that. But there's moments in time where I'll be wanting to tell people, okay. And when I do that, when I say okay and I point my finger, it's about to go down. And so because of her, I'll go, okay. And then I'll just go like this, and I'll just try to reel it back in. And that's all because of her.
Yeah, see, the people you spend enough time with, you take something away, you learn something. So I think that's exactly what's happening.
As long as it's positive, it's all good, right? So I think this is a good thing all around. So let's get into this next one, because did y'all see all the fans that got banned? It's like fans out here losing their damn minds, and it's ridiculous. Utah fans were banned for language. Now, let that sink in. Marinate on that for a while. It's Utah. I mean, when you're talking about Utah or Boston, you can pretty much 100% count on it being racist. I don't care how y'all feel about that. You can count on that. So Utah issued a statement about this, which I definitely want to show you. It says the Utah Jazz have zero tolerance for offensive or disruptive behavior. An incident occurred last night involving a verbal altercation during Game 2. Arena security staff intervened, and the investigation resulted in the removal and banning of 3 Jazz fans indefinitely. They have another part of this as well that says, we apologize to all who were impacted by this unfortunate incident and condemn unacceptable fan behavior. The Utah Jazz are committed to ensuring a safe and respectful environment. I think they left out who these fans were talking to, though, because John Morant responded to this as well. And he said, as they should, my family should be able to cheer for me and my teammates without getting inappropriate stuff said to them. 100%. I think Utah should have addressed that this was specifically John Morant's family. They're just making it seem like this was just a one-off. No, these fans in Utah are like this. This is not our first time talking about the trash fans in Utah. It's not going to be our last time talking about the trash fans in Utah. This happens almost every single game, which leads me back to what I said yesterday. How are you going to ban? I mean, if they're season ticket holders, sure, you can say your season ticket ship, whatever, has been revoked. But if they just buy a regular ticket, how are you going to stop them? Y'all don't have face recognition at the stadium. Like, how are you going to stop them from coming in? This is a lot to me. I think when you say you ban them indefinitely, you need to take steps to make sure they're banned indefinitely. But Kevin Durant, he also commented on this as well. And basically said, oh, did I forget Kevin Durant's statement? But Kevin Durant said, okay, it's all fun and games until your ass get banned. And so true. That is so true. It's all fun and games. But the Utah fans didn't take that one to heart. They kind of just felt like, oh, no, these are one-offs or things of that nature. So now you can throw that other one up there. Leo says, one says, why is Jazz fans always like this clown franchise? And he says, you a killer for real. Typical Jazz fan behavior, though, unfortunately. So that's what people were saying to John Morant. But on that same thread, people were like, no, these are just a few bad apples. If it was a few bad apples, why does it happen every damn near all the time? But yeah, like I said, Kevin Durant commented on that as well and said, it's all fun and games until you get banned. But Devin, how do you enforce the ban? I mean, that's my thing. The ban just seems like a thing to do to appease people. But how do you enforce this?
I mean, probably, I don't know. Probably, isn't there like a barcode or a QR code on the ticket, on the season ticket passes? So I'm sure that account is just banned, right? I mean, I don't really know how they do that, but yeah, they could go in using somebody else's season tickets. I've done that before at Laker games. Like, I don't think that that's super effective in keeping these kinds of people out of the stadiums, but I think that they at least are sending the right message by issuing these indefinite bans to fans that do things like this. Because, I mean, this is now in 3 days. We've talked about the Sixers fan throwing popcorn on Russ, the fans that spit on Trey. Like, it's just kind of getting out of hand. And the fact that these people actually feel bold enough to do this kind of thing in public, especially to somebody's family, like, that takes it even to a whole new level. It just shows that they really need to crack down. I don't know what the solution is here, because banning is obviously not going to be as effective as we wish it would be. But I don't know. I mean, it's outrageous to me.
I mean, unless you, see, and that you're absolutely right. Because I'm thinking about all the times I've gone to the Lakers game. No one's ever asked me for my ID. You know what I mean? And sometimes I do buy the tickets outright myself. Sometimes they are given to me by a season ticket holder. So maybe if I go, maybe it's the same thing like in your apartment building. If your guest acts up, then you're the one responsible for it. So even if you're the season ticket holder, you use your season tickets. But again, that person can get a ticket from somewhere else. So I don't know, but they need to figure out a way to enforce this for sure. But now let's get on to KD's response, because that one's coming up right now. I see the same thing in the chat. People are saying, yeah, a friend can get you a ticket. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. Anyway, so let's move on to this. So KD did respond to this as well on his Twitter, and he said, it's all fun and games until your ass banned for life. But how long is that life, though? Is that life just until I could get another ticket? See, that's what I'm saying. And then what really kind of troubled me about KD's tweet, nothing troubled me about KD's tweet specifically, because I think he's right. People use this moment to bring up Russell Westbrook. Like they all feel like the fan throwing the popcorn on Russell Westbrook was over the top, and he played it up too much. He says Westbrook is a big baby. What are you talking about? What if it was by accident? And then someone else says, I'm not calling Russ a baby, but valid point. Accidents actually do happen, but I didn't see the video of a fan throwing anything else, just Russ reacting. Who knows what really happened? Do y'all why does everyone always want to either A, call Russ a baby, or B, downplay everything that happens to this man? Fans have been out of pocket with him forever. Why does Russ get this why do people dislike Russ this way? I don't understand. Devin, do you have a clue as to why people dislike him like this?
I can't justify anybody disliking Russ because I have always really liked him and I've always really admired him and liked watching him play. But I think that just the fact that he doesn't care, like just what he said, what was it, like a month ago, where he said, I'm a champion already, with or without a ring, I'm a champion. I think people don't like that attitude because they want him to want more. They want him to not feel satisfied with making it as far as he has. And then also just the way he is so willing to call out racist fans at a Utah Jazz game in 2019. You know, that was the last big time we saw him do that, I think. I think that people don't like that. They think he's too bold. They want him to just be the quiet athlete who doesn't say anything, the same way people want LeBron James to stop talking about politics. I think it makes athletes like Russ and like LeBron just too polarizing for people. But I say keep doing it. I love him. I love his attitude, and I think he's awesome.
Yeah, I saw Mike Glock said because Russ got beef with everyone, and Stay Mad said Russ tried to fight Curry. That's why I don't like him. Look, I like Russ because if you don't start none, won't be none. That should be your motto when you think about Russell Westbrook. If you don't start it, then he won't bring it. But if you start it, he's about that life, and I actually really love that about him. So let's move on to this next one because I don't know what Julius Randle's son is going to be when he grows up. I think supermodel, rock star, not even like big time rap, maybe a big time rap. I don't know, something. I don't know if he's going to be, if he's going to play basketball, because even though we love our basketball players, they don't get the, like, people lining up just to wait. Maybe he'll move to England and marry a princess and become a prince, because he's eating every piece of this up. Take a look. He's looking at him. He got the wave down like, hey, my adoring fans, how you doing? I don't know if what he's gonna do in his life, but trust me when I tell you, he got a little bit of taste of what that feels like to be famous and have people adore you. He is going to want that the rest of his life. I like what this user said about the situation. He says, Julius Randle's son is the Prince of New York. He's getting so much love from fans, which I think is adorable. Absolutely. And then we have one more tweet that I think I kind of disagree with. So I want to see what you guys think about this. I love this video. Really tells you everything you need to know about New York in general, but also what happens to the city when the Knicks are good. Love it. Because what happens to this is what happens to the city when the Knicks are good. You're really nice to kids because y'all also left. I don't think that's right. Y'all left that disparaging note all through the garden. I don't think that's right, Devin.
Yeah, like, I'm glad that when the Knicks are, in the playoffs and they actually win a game, that they can be nice to a child, but they clearly can't be nice to anybody else, especially poor Trae Young. Feel so bad for him.
Yeah, don't start acting like, see how kind and gentle. No, we already saw. Like, oh, we are good people. No, you're not. Stop it. We see you.
Should be nice to a kid regardless of what's happening with his dad's team. Like, stop.
Right. Y'all, we see y'all Knicks fans. It's gonna be years before we forget about that note y'all left about Trae Young's hair. Years, just so you know. So own that. All right, let's go on to this next one. Because this next one is funny to me. Because for those of you who've ever played basketball before, your coach will tell you when you get to the free throw line, you need to do the exact same thing every single time. It's supposed to create like muscle memory to make it easier for you to sink those shots. So Giannis has a routine. And apparently, though, in Miami, they tired of that routine. They thought it was taking too long, and they started counting him down. Take a look.
Of the Greek freak. the elites who goes 6'10", 235 pounds. I would think it reaches a point where he blocks out the count.
I think you're right. They're counting fast, too. You know, one Mississippi. You got to go a little slower.
They're not giving him a break at all with the 10 count as Miami takes a timeout.
You're losing by 24 points at this moment in time, and you decide to count down the two-time MVP while he Y'all priorities are messed up, and you guys set yourself up for all these tweets that were just like this. That are 100% right. Who cares? They're getting swept. They should be counting down the seconds until their season ends. Facts. Y'all, this is a say less moment. You don't say nothing when you down by 24 points. Just fun fact, okay? All right, now let's go on to this next one. Because this next one, I thought I made a mental note, but I forgot. Somebody in the chat yesterday mentioned this while we were talking about J. Cole and said J. Cole finally left Africa. He's no longer going to be playing in Africa. We have this tweet that was posted about that said he finally left. J. Cole Bleacher Report posted it, says J. Cole shouts out the Rwanda Patriots after he had to leave the team due to a family obligation. So the timing of this is very peculiar, obviously, because now that people are saying, especially, you know, some of the African players are speaking out like this is terrible. He's got all this money and there's guys that don't have a job because of him right now. So the timing is really weird, but he did issue a statement. So I want to take a look at that statement. He says, thank you to the ball and to the Rwanda Patriots for the opportunity. Thank you to my teammates, the coaches, and staff for treating me like family. I learned so much in the few weeks we were together. Congrats on that win tonight and good luck next game. Thank you to Puma for supporting a dream from day one and getting me to Rwanda and back safely via Puma jet. Oh, okay, that's dope. Thank you to the entire country of Rwanda and the city of Kigali for housing us, beautiful land and beautiful people. To anyone considering visiting or moving to the continent, from everything I saw and heard, I would recommend you consider Kigali and Rwanda in general. Thank you to everybody that had kind words for me despite my inexperience. I plan to get better. I actually really like this. I don't think he was, like he said, he has lack of experience. Yes, he's good, on a pickup game down at the local park, but a pickup game down at the local park, competing with people who are actually, this is what they do. This is their job. That's a little bit different. So I get that the timing is wrong, but regardless of why he left, I definitely respect what he said. And I respect him shouting out, everybody and bringing attention to that organization. So I think it's a beautiful thing. Devin, what do you think about this?
Yeah, like I said yesterday when we were talking about this, that I do think that he did a good thing for the Africa Basketball League. I always want to call it, I think it's Basketball Africa League. Maybe not. Actually, I messed up. But
that's right.
Yes. Okay, yeah. And it sounds like I want to switch the words around a little bit. But anyway, I love that he put a spotlight on that league, because like I said before, I wouldn't really have been paying attention on my own. I'm just focused on what's happening with basketball here in the U.S., sometimes in Australia, but mostly just the NBA. So I think he did do a good thing. He kind of put it on the map for a lot of people. And I also do think that leaving was probably the good move for him too. So he could open up that spot for somebody who really does deserve to be there. But it was neat to see him attempt this and give it a shot.
Yeah, and I know people say, oh, he only got this shot because he's, a famous rapper or whatever. That's true, but there's still some part of me that I just get nostalgia. It warms my heart when somebody has a dream that they actually get to succeed at, no matter if they're a superstar or not. Because, I forget who it was. Dang it, I'm forgetting. But there was an NFL player who finished college just because his mom wanted him to. God dang it, plays for the Cardinals. It'll come to me anyway. But that's just, damn it, I'm forgetting. But I'd love when somebody completes a dream just because it's important to them, not to please you or anybody else, just because it's important to them. It's a beautiful thing. So shouts out to him. All right, so now we're going to get on to this next one. I think Devin and I and the rest of the Fumble Squad, Leo and Arthi, we're going to have to do this challenge, because this is, I think, the second or third time we've seen a team do this challenge, and nobody has done it right. You guys are terrible at this challenge. It's the pass the phone challenge. Trust me when I tell you, it's 2 minutes of 10 seconds of pure awfulness. And Kelly Oubre is part of that awfulness, but I know Devin loves him, so we're going to start with him. So, Leo, roll the terrible challenge.
I'm passing the phone to somebody who can't beat me in a game of dominoes.
I'm passing the phone to someone who's back in the Bay for their second stint.
I'm passing the phone to somebody who has the weirdest, funniest dance during the pregame warm-up.
I'm passing the phone to the person who is not going to participate in this challenge or any other challenge. Great dude, love the guy to death, but I just don't think he'll do it.
I can't do it.
The best part of that was literally Clay, and he didn't even do it.
That was so boring. That hurt me. They did not do it right.
It was awful. Larry Fitzgerald. Thank you. That's the person I was thinking of, Larry Fitzgerald. But anyway, go ahead.
It started off strong with Kelly Oubre looking like a whole snack. Ended strong.
No, it was just his look. He was also a part of the terrible squad. Yes, without the sound, it was fine. But when he's talking, like, I'm gonna pass, and there was no, I'm gonna pass the dominoes, the phone to somebody who can't beat me with dominoes. What the hell is that? What is that?
I don't know, but he looked good, so we have to give him credit for that. And then Clay ending it that way was funny, but everything in the middle, what the hell was that? Boring AF.
Oh, if you think that was boring, this challenge was 2 minutes and 10 seconds. That's how long they did the pass the phone challenge. It was horrific. That's a stick to basketball moment. Let TikTok do TikTok. That's oof. Clay being the best part of it, and he didn't even say anything. You know you did it wrong at that point. But look, this next one is definitely going to make Devin upset because she has said time and time again, enough of the Kwame Brown. I agree. He did talk about Stephen A. Smith, called him all out his name, said he was tearing down black men. You know the rant. Stephen A. he steered clear of him. He steered clear. Yesterday, Kwame said something else about Stephen A. that I kind of scrolled past because I'm just over that man. But finally, Stephen A. decides to speak out, and he has another one. It's about a 2 minute, well, actually, it's a 9 minute rant that he does about Kwame Brown. I'm just going to show you the small. Then after that, he also rolls tape. That's the funny part. So let me let you take a look at that.
The man played for 7 different teams. I got played wide open layup, miss. Keep going. Keep rolling them. Keep rolling. This is Shaq. Keep going. Keep hey, go ahead. Watch this. Look at that pass from Steven Jackson, his former teammate. You see? You see that? Here it is again. Another drop. Another air ball in the lane. A layup. An air ball layup. Keep going. Keep going. Getting dunked on by Brook Lopez, who can't jump. Look at this right here. Keep going. Keep rolling the tape. Look at that pass. First of all, he traveled on the pass before he threw the pass. Keep going.
Yo, when I tell you, Stephen A., he only played, like I said, it was a 9 minute rant. But then at the end of it, he said, I got 15 minutes more of footage, but this is all I'm giving you. So he took time, and this was just one game. So he took time to put this whole thing together. Stephen A., we know Kwame is trash. We didn't need to see that whole highlight reel. We know he's trash. Everybody knows that. But I definitely appreciated him for it. But I thought people were going to be like, haha. Same things kind of you guys are saying that, you know, Stephen A., you petty. That's my kind of petty, though. Or, you know, Stephen A., you didn't have to do him like that. We know he's trash. But no, people were like mad. People were big mad on this one. Stephen A. Smith trash for doing this, using his large media platform to chop down another person. James Harden has a video similar to this as well, even though we know he's a baller. And I'm not saying Kwame is the same level as James Harden. Then why are you saying this at all, sir? Why? Don't ever put James Harden's name next to Kwame. Stop it. You get the fail of the day for me on this one. Let's go to this next one. Says Stephen A. Smith, you know how many teams or years you play in the league. You mad salty for this. Stop it. He's not salty. He's petty. There's a difference. Salty is when you mad. Petty is when you just poking at someone for the sake of poking. He's petty. I love this. I love what he said about, you know, Brook Lopez. He can't jump. The whole thing is funny to me, but I know, Devin, you don't like it. I know you don't. Tell me how you feel about this moment with Stephen A.
Okay, I have to admit it was kind of funny. I do wish we would stop, but if what's going to happen with Kwame Brown's name in the media is a 9-minute roasting session, I am a little bit more tolerant of it. I think that was kind of funny. But all the people who are coming for Stephen A for talking about this and doing this, have they never watched First Take? This is what they do. They're constantly roasting athletes. Like, that's Stephen A's job. That's Max Kellerman's job. They're supposed to go on there and have these strong opinions about different players. Why is anybody surprised?
Yeah, I don't. And Stephen A, I think deep down inside, somebody said, my Glock said it's comedy. I think deep down inside, Stephen A wants to be a comedian because he'll start off these rants where he's talking real low and educated. And then all of a sudden, and I'm like, Stephen, the mic, the audio for that show has to be paid very, very well because Stephen A's audio has got to be just all over the place and hard to produce.
You're so right about that. They're like quickly adjusting the soundboard, like, all right, we got to drop it down. Okay, raise it up, raise it up. So intense.
I got arms of steel because they're just like this all day.
Oh, God.
Oh my God. But that's all I got for the post up. We're going to really quick dive into what we're not going to do. And for those of you who don't know, I'm just going to give you a quick history lesson with some terms that might not sound racist on the surface, but actually are. And of course, if you're Black, I believe you already know this, but just for educational purposes, the term boy, specifically when you use that word towards a Black man, very, very racist because it comes from a time specifically in slavery when they would call grown Black men boys as an indication that you're less than me. You're not even a man. Technically, at the time, we were 3/5 of a person. So it's a term to demean and let you know I'm better than you. So I just need you guys to know the background of that word as we get into this, because James Wade, he's the GM and the head coach of the Chicago Sky. He's in his 3rd season coaching the Sky. He won Coach of the Year 2 years ago, and he just signed a 4-year extension. But in the WNBA, you know, if you get Coach of the Year and you just signed this new extension and you're the GM, it's not like people don't know you. That's not the thing. The WNBA is very small when you think about, you know, who knows who. And so the officials, they know him. That's just a thing. But James Wade is feeling some type of way. And the Chicago Sky have officially filed a complaint with the WNBA office because James Wade says a white official referred to him as boy during a game. He basically said to one of the players, you know, explain it to your boy when talking about James Wade. So it's one of those situations where I really have to see it. And James Wade said this over and over and over again. He's like, I'm not going to talk about the situation. If you want to see what happened, it's in the game. Go back and watch it. And this is one of those things where I feel like I do need to go back and watch it because I say that to my friends all the time, you know, get your boy when my friends are acting stupid or something like that. It's a little different, you know, coming from me, because first of all, whenever I'm talking about the boy, it's always somebody I know, and we're all laughing and talking and having a good time. I've never called a grown Black man a boy because I know what that word means, and I know how that is going to offend them. No grown man, regardless of his race, wants to be called a boy. You know, y'all little kids like, I'm not a little boy, I'm a big. So it's a totally different thing. But I didn't see the context. I didn't see, and not that it matters, because I do think this is a grown man who you know his name and you know he's a head coach. There definitely needs to be a level of respect. And that's what James Wade is saying. He's saying that there was a lot to this. First of all, the coaches were allowing the Dream players to be overly aggressive with his players, and they weren't calling it fairly. And he had an issue with that. And then to add insult to injury, once he started kind of talking about that, then you referred to him as boy. So it's going to be one of these things where I need to go back and watch the tape, but I am glad for I'm proud of the WNBA for launching an investigation into it, because I don't believe that this man didn't mean it in a derogatory way, because I think anytime you in that situation, especially when it's heated, y'all ain't joking. This ain't funny. You knew what you were saying. So what we're not going to do, if you didn't know, you know now. You can't use ignorance as an excuse. We are never going to refer to grown men as boys. That's not what we're doing. That's all I got for what we're not going to do.
It's Fan or Foe.
The time has come, people. It is Fan or Foe Friday. We have been collecting your questions, comments, and clapbacks from throughout the week, and we are going to address them right now. So, Leo, let's not waste another second. Let's get right into it. Christian Brito. So Christian actually corrected me last week when I called him. I was thinking it was like Italian, his last name, so I've been saying Brito, and he was like, it's not pronounced burrito, it's pronounced Brito. So I am doing it right this time. But he says, if I was Westbrook, I would have gave that man a West hook. I like this one. You agree, Jackie?
I agree.
Me too. I like that.
Because that would have been bad for Russ. But if he would have had the opportunity, I would have supported that decision.
Yes, me too. Me too. I would have loved to have seen that happen. Let's get into the next one. Henry Vera says John Morant showing he better than Zion. Ooh, you know what? I think Ja is proving that, especially this season, which is wild because when these two first came into the NBA, I was all team Zion, and I still am. I love him. I think he's a great guy, but Ja is just really showing out. Do you agree with this statement too?
Yeah, I definitely agree. John Morant is next level with his stuff and what he's doing. And I totally appreciate everything that he's doing on the court. But it is two different styles of play. You know what I mean? It's not the exact same thing. So I don't know if that comparison is perfect. But I definitely agree with this sentiment for sure.
Let's get into the next one. Kenneth Thomas says Knicks and Cowboy fans are one and the same, obnoxious. You know what? Yeah.
I agree with that.
It's true. Knicks fans are getting out of hand. So yeah, they do seem to be cut from the same cloth. Let's move on to the next one. Yep. Jeremiah. Devin definitely took 3 shots and a couple of edibles before the show. Okay, Stay Mad loves me. Huh?
What is that supposed to mean exactly?
I don't really know, but he always says stuff like this. Stay Mad is constant.
Oh, please leave. Somebody just came into my apartment. I'm on a call. You need to go. Somebody literally just came into my apartment.
Are you scared? Don't you need to go check and see what's happening?
They said we're the fire department. We're coming to check your sprinklers. Bitch, I don't care.
Oh my God, that is scary. Okay, woo, let's move on. Is it Stay Mad? Did Stay Mad walk into your apartment? Is that what's happening here?
That was crazy. Like, I thought I heard something, but then I looked and there's somebody standing in my freaking doorway.
Oof.
My heart is beating so hard.
I don't blame you, Jackie. That's terrifying. You need to get a security stick like I have. I'll send you a picture of it after the show because even if your door is unlocked, people can't open it with a security stick in place.
Oh, I definitely need that.
Okay. Let's get back to Fan or Foe. So Jeremiah apparently thinks I'm drunk and high. I'm not. I have a lot of caffeine before the show, but no, I'm not drunk and high. Okay, Suleiman says, Jackie, listen here, baby girl. I'm that N-word. I'll treat you like my queen and I'm your king. Just remember that we royalty. This makes me cringe.
I understand what he's saying. I must have been talking about the fact that I hate when people use the N-word. But no, wait, why are you calling yourself that N-word though? I'm so confused right now. What's happening?
I don't like this one very much. This makes me feel weird.
Right.
Okay,
next one.
Moving on. King Bets. Hey, Crowder, don't cry. Dry your eyes so you can see the ring bling. What is happening in Fan or Foe? Let's get to the next one. Check Renna says, WTF that they feeding that boy. That hairline says he's capping. So this is about that big 9th grader that we talked about. Yeah, I don't know what they're feeding him. Like extra hormone milk or something? Weird. I'm not sure. Let's get into the next one. Christian Brito says, to be honest, the NBA might be doing some reverse psychology because if they punish role players for disobeying the rules because they're not superstars, players could work hard to become superstars to be able to go to the strip club. I don't feel like that's what's happening here. I think that Yeah, I don't think that's what's happening here. I think that going to a strip club where you're exposing yourself to just random people off the street, including dancers who are going to be getting up close and personal with you if you want them to, is a whole different experience than going to a, an event with health and safety protocols in place. I don't think it has anything to do with reverse psychology.
Yeah, it's not the same at all. Good try, though. Good try.
I always like a theory. I like a conspiracy theory, so I appreciate the effort that went into this one. So let's get into the next one. Kevin G says, Kawhi will definitely opt out even if Clippers were winning because he can get more money. I do think he wants to stay in Cali, but he's not going to go to the Lakers or the Kings. Golden State Warriors is a very likely place for him. Do you agree, Jackie?
So again, y'all got to watch the video that's coming out this weekend because neither of those places are where I said he should go. But it's obviously not working there. And so Kawhi definitely does want to be here. We know that he went out of his way to try to get here. But leave your family here and go somewhere else because it's definitely not working. So I definitely think he's leaving, but not to any of these places.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think he's going to stay in California, but I do think he is leaving the Clippers for sure. Okay, let's get to the next one. Zen Master says J. Cole is the Tim Tebow of Africa.
I like this comparison. That sounds right. He looked good on paper, was trash when it actually happened. I like this. Good comparison.
Moving on. Brady Xander says, Jackie, let me get your number, baby girl.
Yeah, and let me just go to the chat and put my phone number in the chat. Stop it.
That's always going to work out well for you, Jackie. I think you should. Okay, next one. Suleiman says, I know I'm going to be off topic here, but why is it every time you guys talk about every other football team, but you guys never talk about the New York Giants? Like, what's up with that?
Nothing to talk about.
Yeah, we talk about what's newsworthy, what's making the headlines. I don't think I've seen the Giants in headlines in forever.
Right. Do better.
Okay. Do better. Okay, let's get on. Terrell P says, Jackie Ray, you look good with the natural hair. I agree.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Let's get to the next one. Kevin Pryor. What do people want these athletes to do? The game is over. Life goes on. Who the hell is Junior Gillette? The nerve, LOL. So earlier in the week, we talked about how he got so mad at, oh my God, why am I blanking?
I am too.
Junior got so mad at, I looked this up right before the show. Steph. He got so mad at Steph Curry because he wasn't as good as Allen Iverson or whatever he was saying. And he did that whole Twitter rant like, oh, AI would never, AI. I didn't eat for 3 days when I lost. Like, okay. And?
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, we talked about that. What do we, I think Steph, I would probably be like Junior and I would probably wallow in it for a couple of days. But I think what Steph is doing is way more mentally healthy, and it's the smarter way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely operate more like Steph, unless I've had too many things happen at once that ends up bringing me down. But if, I'm like Steph. If I were in his shoes, I would be trying to find the positive in the situation, be happy, laughing, doing what I can. Okay, let's get to the next one. Mark Law. Ugh, I do not like this guy. I think I hid him from the channel. He says, damn girl, grow up, be a fan, but don't worship him. Stupid.
So this came because he said, oh, Jackie, I see you have LeBron James posters on your wall. Are you 12? And I responded back to him. I said, sure, if you want me to be. And this was his clapback. Something wrong with Mark Law.
This guy gets mad that we agree on things too. Like he is always in the chat, like you guys always agree. Like Devin, have your own voice. Like there have been plenty of things that we've disagreed on, and he's just annoying. So I hit him. He's no longer there. Bye, Mark Law. Okay, Terrell Kelly says this is off topic. Big, the host is pretty as hell. I have no idea who he's talking to here, but thank you. We'll say it to both of us. So, Jackie, who's the fan of the week? Yeah, that's it.
Oh, damn. Who is the fan of the week? I think the person that said J. Cole is the Tim Tebow of Africa. Who was that? That's who I'm putting my...
I can't remember who it was, but okay, we'll say that one.
Yep. Okay.
All right. You guys, that wraps up Fan or Foe for Friday and our live show for the day. So we will be back on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tune into all the content that is coming out over the next 3 days. We hope you guys have a great Memorial Day weekend if you celebrate and are in the U.S. and you get to have the 3-day weekend like we do. Otherwise, we will see you on Tuesday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Subscribe, tap the bell, leave a comment below, and share this video with your friends. Bye, guys.
Bye.